Okay, welcome back to being stuck at home and doing summer school at the same time. I decided to make a little video about your day 5 at home goals. If you recall your day 4 goals, you went over unit 7-1, 7-2. So all the ecology notes are there. Very, very important. The quiz is going to be a bit of a challenge. It's a lot of detailed concepts, very, very important. It's going to be reflected on the final in a large way, and you need it to do your project next week. So it builds on the concepts you use here. So very, very important unit. And of course, the project is mandatory to finish this course. If you don't do the project, you can't actually get credit for this course. Same with the final. If you skip the final, you cannot get credit for the course. So huge, important things, and ecology is a really foundational unit, even though it may not seem like a lot. So this week, what you probably noticed is there's no more notes. So it's all working with what we've already learned. We have the ecology review, and that's for the ecology quiz. Now, for the B group, the ecology quiz is not till Thursday, July 22nd. And for the A group, it's actually on Friday, the 23rd. Now, I could have put it earlier, but that would have caused the A group to have a quiz and a test on the same day. So I decided to extend it. So you do have a lot of time. So the review is there. The answer key is going to come next week before the quiz. So you may choose to put the review on hold. It's very, very important before the quiz, but you may hold it for now and move on to part 2, ecology at home assignment. Now, this is why I'm making this video, is just so we're all clear on how to use Classroom Notebook, how to get there, and any expectations that may come. So I will just add one final note before moving out of here, that there are socrative questions on 7-2. Once again, these will close Monday, July 19th at about 8 p.m. These are free marks, more or less. Do not let them pass you by. They're a way to review the notes that you've already taken again. Another look is how we can learn. It can become stuck in our minds. Do not give these away. It's such easy things to get. You can't predict tests and labs as easily. You can predict these pretty easily. So definitely use them. They're obviously going to be reflected in the quiz as well in the final. So there's always a benefit for doing them. But moving back to the ecology at home assignment. So what does it look like and where is it? So first of all, the easiest way personally for me to find this is when you go to our team in general. If you go to the top, you'll see a tab that says Class Notebook. So if you click that, it sort of opens, but not great. So we're going to open it in browser so we have more control, it loads faster, etc., etc. So right here we see open in browser, and I'm just going to open in my browser here. So it'll just take a moment. But now it'll open, it'll give you a little bit like welcome. Just ignore that, not important. But you'll notice that there's a couple things on the side. I have every student's name, but you only have yours. So you just find your name, click it, and it will give you a couple headings, handouts and at-home assignments. So I have distributed this to everyone already in at-home assignments. So when you click on it, you'll see that there's just a blank untitled page, but also an at-home ecology assignment. This is all the instructions, the expectations, the examples is all found here. And please do your work here. If you really want to print it off and hand it in person, that's okay as long as you're on time. But I was thinking this is an easy way because I can mark directly in here. So I can just give you feedback right in and a score, and you get to work right in here from wherever you are. So first of all, it's out of 24, so a fairly large assignment. It'll be due Tuesday for the B group, so that's great because that's before your evolution test, and Thursday for the A group. I wanted to give you enough time so it matches the B group, but this is after your evolution test, and I'll just give one tip of why you should do it before then. And that is because in part 2 of this assignment, it talks about evolution of pepper moths. So it fits in ecology and evolution kind of together. So it's important to know that idea for the test. There might be a multiple choice question there might not be, but on just how these pepper moths have adapted. So at least check it out before your evolution test. Now, you'll see a couple notes right at the top. Please copy your creation and answers directly into the boxes. It will save automatically and can be marked here. If you make something by hand for part one, you can scan it and attach it, or take a photo and attach it, or you can bring it in. So part one is about creating something with important terms from ecology. It's called Symbiosis Made Simple. And the objective here is to demonstrate your understanding of symbiosis, including what symbiosis is, the difference between mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. So please review the notes. Make sure you have them. You need to research an example of each of the three forms of symbiosis and demonstrate your knowledge in some way. The idea here is to be creative. You can create a song, create a poem, you can create a pamphlet, create a Prezi or PowerPoint presentation, a social media account, a personal ad for organisms looking for a certain relationship, a comic strip, an infographic, a video. There's tons of ways, and I will say be creative and connect to your interests. If you're someone who really enjoys making comics, make it that way. If you're someone who's an artist, maybe paint a picture. I don't know, but connect to your interests and make it your own. Regardless of the presentation style, you need to include the following: a general definition of symbiosis, then a general definition of mutualism, and a specific example as we see that in nature, then commensalism, specific example, parasitism, specific example. So the marking guide is here. Please, if you're getting an example of like what an example of a parasitic relationship is, grab it and just throw the source up. I don't say what the reference need to be, but I do want the references. Now, you can upload your picture here, attach your PowerPoint or anything like that here, or by hand. I think it'd be easier if you can get it here for everyone. One quick thing about it, creative. Now, if you just do a PowerPoint, you can't get any creative marks. It's boring. It's just like all my notes, it's boring. So try to think outside the box a little, whatever that may be for you. If you want the full marks, if you want this really represented, do something different. Now, there are some examples. It says, check out this amazing video example and see below for 3 ideas. So scroll down. I just included 3 PowerPoint slides when I did this in summer school last year, which was online. So idea 1 is an infographic, not an infographic. And that's a visual guide with less words that shows us that. So we have a are you symbiotic, and it has a definition. They have mutualism, a definition, and an example. They see parasitism, what it is, an example. Commensalism, what it is, and an example with highly visual and colored. Another idea is maybe of a POW tune. So you can make a video maybe using a POW tune or something like that. That's up to you. We're going to be using that in the future. And then idea 3 is like a video or skit. So this is where you can really have fun. You know, a couple of you can get together and create this together in a COVID safe way if you want. So filming each other, you can, like I said, this is something you can come together if there's friends in this class and do it as one. So I'll show you, I just made a video example of what that could look like just from parasitism. So I'm going to insert the video now. I'm sorry, but you get the idea. It's cheesy, it's creative, it's funny. That's what we're looking for here. So go check it out. I'm gonna win. welcome back. I'm sure that was painful, but at least you get an idea. Have fun with it. That's what I really want to see. As I said, connect with your friends if you think you can do something together, and just be goofy. Anything to work with those ideas, a skit even, it's fantastic. So part two is much more straightforward now. It's a pepper moth simulation, and this is a very clear and well-documented version of natural selection, or an example of natural selection. And of course, it's within an ecosystem, so it does fit in both units, which is fantastic. So you're going to click this link, and you're going to go through the simulation and just answer the corresponding questions. So for example, it'll be like life cycle of a pepper moth, and on the website, we want to click on the peppered moth, and it's going to tell us a little bit about its life cycle, so the answers would be here. I answer them. Doesn't have to be full sentences, but look what it's worth. 1 mark is usually 1 point. 2 marks would be, I'm looking for 2 things. 3 marks for 3 things. So I quickly answer that. Then what is a lichen? So I'd say a lichen is important to pepper moth because, boom, easy marks. Impact of pollution, once again, I would go through. I go to natural selection, industrial revolution, I see that, and I just make my way through. Kettlewell's experiment, I'm going to find the answers there. Now, the bird's eye view is actually where you get to play the game, and you get to be the bird. So it'll say how to play, but basically what you're going to start, and there's going to be some loud chirping, you're going to start by being in a light forest. So when we look here, your light forest, and you start at 50% dark moths and 50% light moths, the variation of this group. And over time, you're going to see that drift, and you write your percentages at the end. So I'll just turn off the sound. But you're a bird, and you're just clicking and killing the moths as you see them. You see that obviously one stand out, so they're less fit. I can still see some white ones, but they're much harder to see. And so that's causing my population to drift and change. And we see that population. So it's 1 minute, and after 1 minute, you'll get your percents. So if I were to stop now, it would say I would probably be at 92% light moths with an 8% dark moth. I repeat for the dark forest. Then there's just a couple questions about how does this show natural selection? And what would happen if there's no predators in the forest? So do you think if the selective pressure of predation was removed, would the colors change over time? And defend that. So what do you think would happen? So that's this assignment. Part 1 is the challenging one, but it's also the one where there's so much flexibility, and just be creative, use your notes, and use the examples below to help you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, but I hope that did help you find it and figure out your expectations. Thanks, guys. Take care.